chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat. Showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me. Cause that's who I am. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat. Showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me. Cause that's who I am.
And good afternoon, shockjoxx live podcast brought to you by KTC Broadcasting and the What's Up Shopper here in Cherryville, North Carolina studios. Hunter Yancey's here today with myself, Kevin Hastings, and cousin Zach not here today. He's got a sick son, Hunter. Poor Judah is on the DL right now in the sick list, so Zach couldn't make it in today. He'll be back next Wednesday. That's Wednesday. Zach comes in on Wednesdays. Yep. I forgot what day it was. I haven't really been to sleep from last night, Hunter. It was a long ride to Winston-Salem and back, and then it was past Winston-Salem actually is what it was. And for the Shelby West Stokes high school basketball game, Shelby Golden Lions win, advancing to the Final Four.
Yeah,
of the North Carolina 2A men's basketball tournament. Big win last night over West Stokes. I just wanted to mention a little bit of that. Torrey Arrington, him and his twin brother, Hunter, have combined in the last two games for 69 points.
Huh.
And Tyler has all 69 points.
Well, I'll be.
I asked him if his brother said that, we combined for 69 last two games. This household produced 69 points last two games. And what's even big about it, Hunter, he in the first half of both games, he had 8 points. 21 in the second half of one game, 32 in the second half of another game.
It only goes off when crunch time.
Halftime adjustments. Last night started off 1 for 7 from 3 in the first quarter. And then turned it on. He hit 4 for 4 in the third quarter from 3.
Real nice.
And so we're going to begin our show kind of there. I do want to start there real quick because we usually don't do high school, but I'm not really wanting to talk the high school sports. I want to talk about fanatic behavior.
Yeah.
Caring too much about things.
Yes.
Put it that way.
That you have no control over.
Or in the end of the day will mean nothing to you.
Right.
But in North Carolina last night, folks, we had two games that were ended in some type of a physical violence between fans.
Mm-hmm.
One was outside the gym, one during the gym, and they had to actually stop play with 19 seconds left in a game. Teams are an hour and a half from each other. And Hunter, one team down by 6, and that road team now, instead of just clearing the gym right then while everybody's there and finishing the 19 seconds, they decided to send everybody home immediately, and that team will have to drive 3 hours round trip, plus food, gas money, and all the other stuff to play 19 seconds of a ball game. Do warm-ups, all that. Do all the kit and caboodle for. They're going to warm up longer than they're going to play. And so instead of the Athletic Association saying, hey, this team wins, this team lost, or replay the whole game.
That's what I
even
said.
mentioned.
That was the idea that I threw around while we were off air, because if you're going to be driving that kind of distance anyways, don't you think it should be, well worth the time that you're putting in? I know good and well I'm not driving anywhere. Plus 30 minutes. Plus 30 minutes, even if I'm only going to be there for 19 seconds.
No fans will be allowed. So it'll be only the players and the referees. If you're the visiting team down 6, do you take any more than 5 people with you?
No.
And do you take your 5 best players?
No.
Do you try to win that last 6? It's 19 seconds.
The real question is, It's doable.
You're gonna have to foul, they miss, you hit a three, foul, they miss, you hit a three, foul, they miss.
This is what it's going to be. It's going to be
Within
one of the
19 seconds.
longest 19 seconds,
Right.
depending on how many fouls and how many timeouts each team respectively had.
They're gonna drive an hour and a half, warm up for 10 minutes, Hunter,
You know, I'm
and
be
then
honest.
play 19
Seriously,
seconds.
if I'm be 100% serious, I'm surprised the school has not stepped in and said we're not supplying you the school bus to go up here for 19 seconds and come right back around using 3 hours worth of gas out of one of our
It's
buses.
probably 2 full tanks of gas, ain't it? I don't know how much. I don't know their mileage or how much they hold
no
and
idea.
everything, but I would guess that, it's not. I mean, the 3-hour round trip's not that great on a bus. I would
No.
imagine. I don't know if they'll have to.
And then
I don't know if they chartered one. So, because Shelby had a charter bus, so did they actually have to charter bus, or are they school buses? That's a good question. But does the fans should fans acting like fools affect the game?
No.
And that's what happened here.
No.
And usually you're kicking fans out and like clearing, like right then and there. I believe the police and the administration should have been like, y'all get out of the gym, and then we're going to finish this game,
Right.
instead of the situation they're in. And another fight was outside. But Hunter, I know the word is fanatic, but and growing up and getting older, I mean, I was young and I've acted like a fool at games and stuff like that. And you want your team to win, and then a call goes against you, and now you're blaming the referees and this and that. And I've always in the past basically 10 years said if you don't want the referees to affect the game, win by 10. Whatever sport you're in, win by 10. The referees can't do nothing about it. So just if you keep scoring, you keep doing what you're supposed to. But the game that we had, there was a ton of questionable calls. There was a ton of weird calls. One of the things that I kind of mentioned a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the NBA fixing scandal is how to keep a ball game close as a referee in basketball. And I didn't accuse one of the referees of doing it, but I was saying this is what would happen. This is a way that the NBA used to do this with off-the-ball fouls. And so what you do, Hunter, for example, Shelby last night, in the first minute of the second half, committed 3 off-the-ball fouls. How many times do you see that happen? Not much. So by the time before we even got to the fourth quarter, the home team is already shooting free throws in the 1-and-1 and 2 free throws on every contact. They probably got 10 free throws on the other side of the court, nowhere near, not even shooting a basket and everything, based on those kind of calls. And it's just I see where fans come from. They want their team to win, but at some point, why does it matter so much that you're willing to fight someone?
Yeah.
And get it on like the whole. I think people have a serious problem. If someone disrespects you, you need to get over it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I agree.
99% of people on this planet don't respect you or me or whoever we are.
This is the thing as well. People got to stop having such thin skin.
Why should I care about what you think about me? If I don't know you, Hunter,
Yeah.
and you call me a name and stuff, I personally don't care because your opinion holds no value
Exactly.
to me.
These teams don't play each other multiple times a year. These kids didn't grow up playing together, travel ball, so these parents don't know each other. What does it matter what Johnny's dad says about you? I mean, Johnny's dad doesn't even, for one, we don't really know who Johnny's dad is as a person.
Right.
So outside of this, he might be a very nice guy, but within those walls, the fanatic comes out in him, and he starts saying things that he usually wouldn't say on Sunday mornings. So I agree. And especially to the point where there needs to be more self-awareness brought to the parents and the fans themselves.
Yeah.
And basically someone bringing that to the front and saying this kind of behavior will not be tolerated
From
at all.
the adults.
This is why, especially from the adults, yes. And that's why, for me, when I said, if I was them and they really are going to go up here and have to replay 19 seconds. First of all, how many of these students really want to drive up for an hour and a half on this bus to warm up, play 19 seconds, and then go home?
Honestly, I say they take a minivan. Like,
If I'm the coach,
find somebody's Tahoe or minivan or whatever.
if I'm the coach of the losing team, because obviously
up
they're the
there.
ones that have to drive up there, I'm saying, all right, taking a poll. Who wants to go?
Are you trying to win by taking? Are you taking 10? That's the question. Are you just taking 5?
Here's the thing. You're just going to take 5 or 6, maybe the guys that you had on. Now, more than likely, they're going to be like, got to have the same guys that you had on the court. So, sorry, boys.
You can't dictate substitutions, though, I would say.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, now you're telling these kids.
If you're going to make the trip, you're going to try to win and take your 5 starters, I guess. You're not just going to ride up there with your. I mean, if you're going to ride up there with your bench players, you might as well just forfeit before you go.
No, but that's what I'm getting at is like, what if the kids are like, look,
we don't want to go.
You're asking us literally to waste 3 hours, 3
More
plus
than that.
hours,
4
really
hours probably
4
of our time.
hours,
Maybe even 5, just depending on dinner and stuff
on
like
19 seconds. To me, that's where I'm serious.
on a school night.
Yeah, on a school night.
It's
they'll
a
have
Thursday.
They'll have school the next day. That to me, it's one of those things where it's like that is the only that right there alone should be why you should replay the whole game, the whole game. And if the home team ends up losing, oh well. And there was no factors, and when you replay the game, no fans in the gym. No fans in the gym. That's not only
that's what they're doing
that's sending
with the 19 seconds. But you're
exactly.
saying for the
but
whole
I'm
game.
talking for the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That's sending a message saying, "Look, we're not going to tolerate this." And I think they should implement that anyways on the team that wins and moves on to the next round, whether or not they're hosting the game or they have to go somewhere else. If they have to go somewhere else, you can't have any of your fans travel. I've seen it happen in pro sports. I've seen there been a huge ban with soccer fans overseas, just due to violence that breaks out because of fanatics.
It's so silly. Like it is silly to me, and maybe some of it's alcohol fueled, but not at the high school games.
No, not at the high school games.
But it's just. I mean, it's just a game. Folks.
Well, you've got
we love the point of the sport.
But
sports
see
is to love the sports.
Yeah.
And to have fun with it, and to be, and it's just that
what's
when you
tough,
get there, that's not the.
What's tough about high school as well is I know you're saying there's not the alcohol involved. Well, it's the fact that half of them are the parents. It's
well,
that
was the fight. There was no players in either one of the fights.
It's the parents of the players. It's not only the fact that you love the game, but that's your son or daughter out there playing, and you sure as hell ain't gonna take crap from nobody else talking about your son or daughter. That's instant Papa Bear, Mama Bear mode right there. You hear somebody else from another fan say something to your child. I completely understand you standing up and saying, "Well, that's inappropriate." I'm not saying throw hands.
Right.
Now I'm saying addressing it and saying as long you leave the kids out of it, obviously. But even then, fanatic wise, dude, there's no reason to get in a fight over a ball game. At the end of the day, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that sports is not life or death.
And maybe the parents and folks care more than
the kids.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Maybe just maybe, Hunter.
living vicariously through their children if they're like that. But this is one of the things as well. It's just the whole, sports is not life and death. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know, sports business is an entertainment-based business. It's entertainment. It's the same thing when people get all upset at TV shows. It's like, what does it got to do with you? Like nothing. The same thing with sports. What can you do to change the outcome? Nothing. You're not on the court. So don't get upset. This was a perfect example last night. Now, granted, he's young. I was fortunate enough last night when I went to the Hornets game. My cousin was there with her husband and her sons. Well, her sons are 7 and 5, so they're still small. But they like the Hornets and they enjoy sports. Well, the oldest one, he can get very emotional at times.
Should we call? You said your cousin.
Yeah.
Do you think someone should have a talk with them or social services about them taking them to a Hornets game and putting them through the torture of watching the Charlotte Hornets?
No, Kristen and Wesley, they're great. They're great parents. But
I've taken my kids, folks.
But
I'm
it's
just
one of those
joking
things where, like, I'm keeping with the emotional aspect.
Right.
They were winning at one point. The Hornets were winning, and the San Antonio Spurs made the comeback.
Right.
And the oldest one got so upset that he would start to have tears in his eyes, and he would be like, "It's not fair. Why aren't they winning?" And Wes, his father, had to remind him. He says, "Look, there's nothing we can do. It's just the Hornets are
Yeah, it's
just playing
a-
bad.
Just a game.
It's just a game. It's just a game. And you know, and he calmed down when the game was over. But you know, I know how tough it can be as a fan. But I have had to tell myself that multiple times
Right.
as a Redskins fan throughout the years.
I will. I
I
have
can't
to.
do I
I'm not
can't do
gonna
anything
say-
about it. I don't work in the front office. I'm not part of the coaching staff, and I am not a part of the players on the team. I am just a fan that they take money from. That's it.
So Hunter, me having this issue with the Cowboys after 30-something years of
Right.
being one of their fans is it's a little liberating. I would
Yeah.
advise it to anyone because some people are way more loyal
Mm-hmm.
to their sports teams than they are their loves,
Yes.
their husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever
Yes.
whatever you are. Because even family members, moms,
Right.
dads, brothers, sisters. I ain't gonna say some. I'm gonna say most people
I can
are
agree with
more
that.
loyal. There's plenty of people that's been divorced and never gave up their favorite team.
football team. Are you kidding me?
And the ones and the ones that crack me up, Hunter, that are so loyal to these teams. So for example, let's talk about Panther fans.
Mm-hmm.
So Shane was in here the other day.
Right.
He said, "Who you pull for?" Panthers.
Yeah.
He said, "You got to pull for them whenever you live near them." Why? Why is that a rule? Because my taxes go to a team. I have to pull for them.
Right.
And that right there drives me crazy more than anything. Is people saying you have to pull for them because you're now. And here's my example, Hunter. Everyone from, let's say, Cherryville or
Yeah.
Gastonia or Lincoln
Mm-hmm.
would claim, if someone asked you where you're from, you would claim Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Near Charlotte type
Right.
thing. Do most people in Charlotte not call all the other counties losers, rednecks, things
Yeah.
like that? They will not claim, would people from Charlotte claim, "Oh yeah, Cherryville, man, I love the people in Cherryville," or "I love the people in Shelby"? Would
They
they
would-
ever say that?
Well,
Ever.
you know what was funny was when in the what was it, the Final Four a few years ago, South Carolina had an opportunity to play North Carolina almost, and it was looking like it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And they said if this is the matchup, the winner claims Gastonia. Whether South or,
Well, that's what
the loser claims Gastonia.
That's what I said. People will be die hard
Yeah.
about, I have to pull for the Charlotte sports team, but there's not a single person in Charlotte who gives a rat's ass about you, me,
Right.
and anything else. Listen, I said I'm not going to pull for Dallas till Jerry dies.
Mhm.
Not a single person from the Dallas Cowboys
Has reached
organization
out to
has
you.
called me to ask me if I want to come
Are you
back
okay?
or reached
What-
out
or
or
look,
what the how can we do? What can we
get you
do?
back?
Right.
What's wrong?
They don't care.
You don't want to
People in
with
Charlotte
Dak?
don't care a lick of beans about anybody that's outside of Mecklenburg County.
Jerry will write you a small check.
There's people in Gaston County that don't even know Cherville's in Gaston County. I don't know how many people we play these teams in school and I'm like, Cherville's in Gaston County? and then in fifth
Right.
grade, my son's over here reading about Mesopotamia. And I told my wife, and I was like, third grade, or second grade, Mesopotamia. I said, 90% of those kids can't say Mesopotamia.
Right.
Can't find it on a map, and because it's not on a map. But wouldn't it be better to teach them where Cherville is, or where Shelby is, or how to get to Lincoln? Hey guys, you live in Shelby. This is how you get to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Not let's talk. Let's break down the Mesopotamian plain.
I mean, you make a good point, but I think it still comes back to the fact we're talking about fanatics,
Right.
and it just comes down to we can love sports. It is okay to be passionate about sports.
Mhm.
It's different to be flat out, crazy and a lunatic about sports to where you get
It's fun.
violent.
You can be crazy fun.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. That's the famous line.
It's insane. Fights in the stands are insane to me because not a single person on that field
right.
cares about your and the other guy's argument.
Mhm.
Like one
No.
guy saying you suck, the other team saying you suck, and okay, well let's fight. And then the guys on the field are like,
I mean, the only way that changed was
Care.
the only one that changed was Malice at the Palace,
Right.
And that was because, Ron Artest was just like, I've had enough of this joker. Yeah, threw a beer at him, and then I honest to God was surprised Russell Westbrook didn't go at that fan. What was it in Utah? It was somebody. Yeah, and they
talk about
obviously
the kid that touched him.
not the kid that touched
Okay,
him, the
okay.
one that called him the derogatory name.
Right.
Because we all know that's fighting words. Very rarely do athletes get triggered at
Right.
fans, but when they do, there's usually good reasoning. And I'm honest to God surprised he didn't go at him.
Come up with something like
but
funny or intelligent. That
yeah.
just, you know these fans want to get you're
But
trying to
it's-
get them off their game.
It's just one of those things where it's like, how many times have you seen on social media videos going viral of in the stands? Now, these people that are for the away team can't help where their seats are.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're sitting behind a diehard Panthers fan
Mm-hmm.
and they're sitting there wearing, I don't know, like the Bears, like they're
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Bears fans, and the Bears are beating the Panthers, and he's standing up cheering, that gives the Carolina Panthers fan no right to turn around and start bickering and blasting him. I mean, he paid for those seats just like you did.
I've made a few Panthers fans mad at me in the stadium in the past. One of them was
there's no reason for you to be that fanatical over a team to where somebody else just cheering and being happy and who paid the same amount of money you did for those seats.
Right.
Like you turn around and decide to take it out on them, then they'll never come back.
Right,
And
well-
you think you did the Panthers a service
Right.
because that fan was not rooting for
For the
them.
Panthers.
For the Panthers. They were getting beat on the field, so you took care of a fan in the stands.
You know how I made one of them mad?
How?
Just reading Cam Newton's stats out, and comparing them to other bad
Well,
quarterbacks.
but see, now that's now luckily, like I
Say
know a
that out
lot,
loud.
like Wesley, who was there last
He's got
night.
as many wins as Andy Dalton.
Yeah, so Wes, who was there last night, he's a fan
Yeah.
of the Panthers,
Right.
And he even admits, he says, "Look, I'm not like those Cam lovers." He said, "I at least can
You're
see."
supposed to love the team, not the players.
Yeah, he said, I can see how to make the team better. He said, and sometimes Cam's just not the way. And so that's what does it to a lot of Carolina
What type
Cam
of mother
fans.
lets their kid buy a Greg Olsen jersey?
I don't know, because he wants to be third leg Greg.
You see what
That's
I mean?
all
Like,
wanna know.
if you're a mom, and
Yeah.
if you don't know what I'm talking about, folks, see, and that's the thing. They don't let some of this stuff out. Like, I just don't see, like I said,
Mhm.
the team, not the players. But yeah, it's just we've had some incidents here in North Carolina lately, and these folks acting like fools during the
I
playoffs.
think
It's
what
just,
makes
that was
it-
just nuts. I'm glad it wasn't last night.
Yeah.
I mean, but now Saturday.
Now, here's the thing. Now, this is what I think makes it worse. When it's on the level of high school or lower. I
Right.
think that's just a bad look.
It's awful.
It's just
To
a
sit
bad
there-
look.
Listen,
Because
Little League
if your
umpires
kid is
and-
on
and
the
refs?
floor, if your kid is on the floor, can you imagine how embarrassing that is? That his parents are getting in fight with another team's parents. Not only the yelling match that
Some of 'em
takes
don't
place
care.
before.
some of them don't care.
I'm just like,
I've been on teams where I've told mom not to yell at the refs before
Oh, yeah.
or something.
oh,
but
I've done that before. I was so
I've-
mad at my father
I've
one
been
time.
I've been on teams
Yeah.
that teammates' parents
Mm-hmm.
acted like fools.
Right.
And you're right. I don't know if it's as embarrassing for that kid as it is
For me.
the rest of the other players. Are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I'm glad my mom's or dad's not acting like
Right,
that. And
right.
and I've seen and heard those and and I've reffed youth sports before and umpired baseball and youth sports and when I'm on the field umpiring, I'm just trying to get the calls right.
Yeah.
Is all I'm trying to do. It's called safe, out, foul, and get it right. I have no agenda. I don't care. I told one coach, I said, I don't care if you both score 99 or nothing. I mean, it doesn't matter to me one bit. And if you think the calls are going your way, I'm sorry. And I explained to them, where my strike zone was and this and that. And then you still have, the fans that sit there and yell at the umpires during the game and referees for every call and every
Right,
little thing.
right.
The baseball ones are silly to me because so if in basketball you drive and there's no foul and the other team gets a rebound, that's a turnover the other way.
Yeah.
In baseball, if you get mad at called strike one, you've got two more.
Yeah. You've got an
If you
opportunity.
get mad at called strike two, you got one more.
Yeah.
And if you get mad at called strike 300, you know what you should have done? Swung the damn bat
yeah.
with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ever. We say it all the time. Don't ever go down looking.
No, that one that drives me crazy more. Strikeouts are bad.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing you can do as a hitter is strike out. And when you do it looking, I think that's the worst thing you can do
Right.
because you didn't attempt to help your team.
So basically, what we're saying for those of you viewing who are parents, have kids coming up in ball, whether they're really small, middle school, or high school level, just keep your cool, man. Just keep your cool. There's no sense in a team having to drive an hour and a half back up the road to finish 19 seconds of a ball game they're losing by 6 points. There's no reason for that. Hour and a half there, hour and a half back, and however much time is in between for warm-ups and them to get those 19 seconds done. That is a waste of that kid's day, especially if he's got a job that he could have been at. That's a damn waste, and it is shameful. And it's all because parents or even just fans, alumni, they don't even go to school there anymore, but they come back and they watch the games, whether it was a parent or just somebody else in the stands is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. You should never get mad enough at a sport that you throw hands.
I'm just, I mean, unless someone's physically, getting into it with you on the field.
Yeah. I mean, of course, in games that promote contact, you're going to have some chippiness because I don't think anybody really just likes getting pushed around. But that's the name of the sport. When you play basketball and you're down in the post, you really can't start getting upset because the guy's trying to manhandle you out with a box out. You can't help it. You just have to fight back. In football, when the dude lays you out, half the time you should really get up and say, damn, that was a good hit. You can't get mad at it. That's his job. Okay, so the games that are calling for physicality on the field, you're going to have some chippiness. I mean, it comes with the game. But as fans, no. Just because somebody was to scream from the top stands, number 12 sucks! And that might be your son. I mean, you can be kind of like, hey, that wasn't nice, but there's no need to put a hand on anybody.
All right.
I think that's what makes me so mad about it is the fact that they have to drive an hour and a half to complete 19 seconds, and that's
they
why.
They could have just done that last night.
Either they finish it last night,
kick them out,
or they just replay the whole ass game.
All right, Hunter. Bunch of Hornet stuff actually today.
Yeah.
Did you see Nick Batum?
I did not see. Well, I saw him there.
He has come out and apologized to Hornets fans
for being awful.
Basically.
Okay.
Let's see.
He
apologized for not playing up to his level of his domestic contract. He also said he's not determined not to be an asshole about the fact he never plays anymore. So,
well, you're right. He doesn't. Even last night, it didn't even. They played Willie Hernan-Gomez, who usually is a do not play alongside of Batum, and they didn't even give him playing time.
He said this franchise has got a bright future, but I don't think I'll be a part of it. He's 31 years old, still has 3 more years on his deal, or 1 more year on his deal.
Well, I'm glad that he
$million.
recognizes that he won't be a part of it. The first, the road to recovery is acceptance, and he has accepted his role.
And then it's just going talking about, and then somebody says if the Hornets didn't pay him, somebody else would.
No.
Well, no, they would have, but
that year,
that doesn't mean you have to.
Right.
Just because someone else will pay Dak Prescott $40 million or someone else will pay Cam Newton $35 million doesn't mean that you have to.
You're right. And
but here's the thing:
they didn't have to give him that much money either.
Right.
There's no guarantee. Just because somebody else would have signed him doesn't mean they would have even thought of that gaudy amount of money to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna see Batum's stat in Portland before he came.
I mean, he was a decent player in Portland.
Right, and people thought he would be a great compliment for Kemba, and then they didn't re-sign Kemba.
Nick Batum was really one of the first spot-up shooters from like the 3-4 role because his athleticism is not crazy, and he couldn't really slash and drive the rim, but he had a good mid-range and 3-point shot. So his
career's not too bad.
His career's not that bad.
11 points. I mean, it's better than Draymond Green.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
But
you made the great point. Yeah.
The year they gave him a $24 million contract, he averaged 9 points a game.
Just bad money management.
Sorry, Hornets. You can blame other people all you want. Say, well, someone else would have, but that don't mean you had to.
It's just
you've
bad.
had 9 straight lottery picks, and you traded one away, and only one of them was successful.
Yeah,
and it's been nothing but garbage. And then you signed $24 million to a player only averaging 9 points a game. To make it simple for you folks, their scoring average is pretty much the same as the salary cap.
Right.
So 110, right? If you get paid $24 million and you don't score 4 points a game, you're losing 15 points a game / $15 million on one player.
You know, and I saw a player last night for the Spurs who's getting ready to be up in free agency, who I think they need to go after in a heartbeat. DeMar DeRozan.
It'll never happen.
No, I know it won't.
They have to do what they did with Batum. You have to overpay someone to get them to come to Charlotte. Charlotte is not a free agent destination. That's our biggest thing. We have to make a trade, Hunter. And when they signed Mitch Kupchak, I thought that was what was about to happen. It's because he has experience in the league.
Mm-hmm.
All the GMs and owners know him. And then so I thought that what they would do is would start making moves. And instead, they've really done nothing but just let contracts end.
Or buy him out.
Well,
Like
I mean, they
they've
could.
started to do now. Buy him out.
I mean, they could.
Make a roster spot, pull up another guy from the G League, because they did play young last night. There were 2 guys on that team. I had no idea who one of them. It was that Shatley guy, Shatley guy. I don't know. I had no idea who it was. And that McDaniels guy that came in and played for him, within like a minute, he had 2 fouls already. He looked lost for a second. They're playing the other Martin twin, Caleb, not Cody. I mean, they're playing both of them now, so you know what? I think James Borrego thought back to my question and was like, "Yeah, we need to play young.
You've been leading the Hornets for the last 2 weeks.
I have. It's been me. It's been all me. It's been all me. And that's just what I'm saying is, you know, and you know what? I don't understand either. I don't understand how they can get away with this. I guess because they technically own his rights, even though he plays on their G League team. But I don't see how they can run promotionals at the arena for Dwayne Bacon, like bobbleheads where he's like wearing bacon, and he doesn't even play on the professional team. They have him on the G League team. They have not called him up in months, and they will run promos for Dwayne Bacon. When they show the video, the hype video at the beginning, they show Dwayne Bacon. He's still on the G League team. I don't understand. Like, just move off a guy, buy out Batum, and pull up Dwayne Bacon. At this point, what do you have to lose? They were winning last night. Good. You were also winning against a guy that had never been in a head coaching seat in his life and just took over an assistant coaching position this year. So, all right, you thought you were in the driver's seat, and guess what? You lost in Hornets fashion. They just made adjustments at halftime. I thought that was really good of San Antonio. But Wes looked at me because, like I said, I was sitting with my cousin and her husband, and her husband looked at me, and he said, you know what? It might actually just be in the Hornets' best interest to lose. To just lose this game and continue to try and get a good draft pick. And we all know it is in their best interest, but damn, don't look at me and say you're going to be competitive. You can't play young and be competitive at the same time. I promise you can't, because even though you have a lot of lottery picks, in the NBA, very rarely do everybody after the first 3 picks pan out. So, and especially lately. I'm sorry, JB, it just don't work that way.
Hunter,
yeah,
I had a thought I was going to go to. And
What's your thought?
During the middle of that,
it happens.
you made
like
me go
that.
blank. I even pulled up the webpage to type it in. Now, damn it, what was it? You was talking about shit.
I was talking about Hornets.
I remember in an hour, and I was trying to roll through my tweets and make sure that I thought something would tip me off of what it was.
Was it about Batum? Was it about his contract? Was it about his stats? And you've had those pulled up.
No, I've already got rid of his god-awful
Was it about how I was mad that they're using Dwayne Bacon to sell merchandise, and yet he's on the G League?
Wasn't that either. While we think about that, I tell you what, we're going to bring up Tim Duncan last night, NBA history, Hunter, his coaching debut. You were there.
I was there.
You want to give Mr. Duncan a grade on his coaching debut?
I'm going to give him a D.
A D. He won.
A D. I know he won. I know he won. But, okay, I'll give him a little bit. I'll give him a C+.
Okay.
And the main reason is I know he was dealing with an injury-ridden roster, but even then, and he even said it in this interview when I asked him about it. He addressed that they had to try some different rotations.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I questioned a lot of the rotational lineups that they had. They were down at one point in the first half, kind of like how I saw the Hornets were to Dallas at one point. It was like 16-2. So I was like, oh, man, this is just not looking good at all. But it changed. They made whatever adjustment they made in the second half. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I really didn't see anything different that they did other than they just started to make shots.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people can say, oh, if you're coaching and adjustments, this and that. At the end of the day in basketball, you just got to hit your shots, man. That's everything. You might have, if you pull up on a wide open three, I expect you to hit it. Your mid-range shot, I expect you to hit it if it's uncontested. And that the Spurs just started to hit their shots. So, you know, I guess because it's kind of in the middle, a C+ would be fine. I don't think he did anything spectacular, okay? And especially working with the cast that he did have, no LaMarcus Aldridge, obviously out still with a shoulder injury. And he addressed it as well that he wasn't the only, like, this game plan wasn't just his. You know, a question that was asked earlier in that someone had asked him, and he said, you know, Becky was in his ear. He essentially said it doesn't matter who really would have been in the head coaching spot tonight. We had this game plan drawn up prior. So whether it was him, Becky, another assistant coach sitting in the head coaching position, they were going to ride with what they had planned out from the get-go.
I'm reading some of the comments on it.
Yeah. What do you say?
Talking about his hair. And
I know, dude. I said that. I said, I looked at my cousin. I said, have you seen what he did with his hair? What the hell?
You watching? They talk about him growing it out and blah 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 with the team. But anyway, the reason I scrolled down is I saw 44 people disliked this comment. 4,000 people liked it, but 44 people just. There's just some people that hate the world, I guess.
Hey, man,
I don't think he said anything bad. We're about to play the interview.
They just want to watch the world burn.
Right. We're gonna play the end of the interview for you folks. Hunter, you'll hear his question as well with Duncan, and so we're gonna let it play out here on the Shock Jock podcast. Here's Tim Duncan after the Hornets game.
They played hard. He made some great adjustments out there. Obviously, I want to win out there, but I love it when he does well as well.
Keeping your coaching.
How happy are you with the professionalism you guys showed in the situation?
You tried right there, didn't you?
I tried twice.
Yeah, they stuck with it. We got on them in that first quarter, giving up 36 in that first quarter.
Was there a lot of reporters there?
And they responded. They responded real well.
8 or 9.
The offensive glass hurt us early on.
Some of
We
one of
made
them's like
some halftime
NBA
adjustments with
TV
that.
and stuff like that.
We changed
That's
up
where
the
they get this
defense a
stuff
little
from
bit.
and ESPN.
And as we did it on the fly and found something that worked, they continue to respond, continue to make the changes for us, and just happy to get the win.
Going forward off of this game, keeping your coaching hat on right now while we got you in this position, what would you say something that you really were impressed with seeing on the floor to go forward riding off of this big comeback win?
I don't know if there's anything specific from tonight. I think just the grind of it. We're out there playing without Yock, without LA. We got a lot of injuries out there. We got people that are in different rotations, but people stay ready. People stay ready. They step up. They do what we ask them to do. We're limited in the things that we can run because of the lineups that we have out there and different positions we have out there. But people keep showing up and people keep getting it done.
Any advice for Rudy in the post?
I was excited for Rudy. He actually got it going there for a little while. Got on them a little bit about really attacking the basket, and he got a couple of baskets in a row that kind of gave us a lift. So he's going to be big for us going on here until we can get LA and Jakob back as a post player, as a post defender. Again, another guy kind of playing in a position, but it's kind of accepting the challenge.
So that was Tim Duncan on the with Hunter was the second question. It wasn't, you didn't hear a first question. You just heard him talking. Then Hunter asked the next question, and then of course the last one about Rudy Gay there.
I just basically like I wanted him to like just still be in coach mode right there. I didn't want it just to be Tim. I was half tempted to after I asked him that question to look at him and say, "Do the players address you as Tim or Coach Duncan?" Because seriously, and that's why I didn't say Coach Duncan right here. Do you know how weird that sounds coming from somebody that grew up watching Tim Duncan as a player?
Did anybody call him Coach while he's standing there? Do you remember?
I don't know if anybody called him
Did
Coach.
anybody call him
I don't
anything
even
or just
no.
started
I
talking?
think they just started talking. I
Okay.
don't think anybody addressed him as Tim or Coach Duncan. But there's say that.
You should have been like Coach D.
Say that.
Coach Duncan.
Coach Duncan. That just doesn't sound right. So I
never
don't
thought
know.
I might save this for Friday because Chris might lose his mind when I say it. I think Duncan was good, but I never saw the awesomeness of Tim Duncan that other people saw.
Well, no,
and
I mean,
I don't know if it's a flashy thing or that he's
Well,
normal.
he wasn't flashy.
And I'll tell you why. I think my biggest thing is that if they played one-on-one, I believe David Robinson would smoke him.
Well, I think David Robinson had him beat maybe 2 times more, especially on athleticism alone.
Right. If David Robinson played when Wilt Chamberlain played, we'd be talking about Robinson having all the records because that dude was
right.
He might have been, besides Shaq, when Shaq was in shape, those two were the biggest athletic big men I've ever seen. David Robinson could run the floor like a deer. He could also shoot from 18 to 20 feet. So in today's NBA, all he would have to do is learn how to step back 3 or 4 more feet, and Robinson would have been draining
And see,
threes.
that's what I think.
He's a better shooter. He's a better dribbler. He's a better faster. They call Duncan the big fundamental.
Right.
If you give Duncan, now, if I'm going to give one of the ball,
If you give
I'm going to give
Duncan-
one of them the ball in the post,
I was about to say, in
yes,
the post, it's
maybe
Duncan.
But if I'm running an offense and I need him a player, and he can be in all 5 different places. Remember, Robinson started on the Dream. He was the starting center on the Dream Team as well. And people
I know.
forget about these things. So Robinson, he's 5th all-time PER, and he was on there with Barkley, Jordan, Magic, and who was the other starter? Scotty.
Yeah, but
Scotty
everybody
started.
they'll just start making the excuses of, well, Robinson couldn't win one until Duncan got there.
Well, Duncan didn't win one without any other Hall of Famers.
With it.
How many Hall of
Which
Famers
other
were on
one-
his
which
second
other
ones?
Who else do you think is a Hall of Famer though?
Parker and Ginobili are both Hall of Famers. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I know they will be, but I don't.
That's what they
I
definitely
don't
will
think
be.
of Hall of Famer when I think of Tony Parker. I just don't.
I was hoping you weren't going to say Ginobili there because I was going to.
No,
kick you out of your chair.
I think Ginobili is a lot better than Tony
Ginobili
Parker.
himself beat Shaq and Kobe that one year. I mean, Ginobili went off.
Ginobili
and
made the
destroyed them.
difference when the Spurs beat the Heat for the first time.
I can see what you say about Parker, but more than likely they're going to do that.
I know.
All right, well, let's
A Frenchman, he comes over here.
Right.
He's what 3-4-time world champion.
Right.
I mean, I can get it, but like statistical numbers, nothing blows you out of the water for
So
Tony
if
Parker.
you're going foreign NBA starting lineup all time,
all time, can Luka be on it already?
yes.
Well, he might be there because they have Luka playing basically point guard.
I was about
for
to say,
San
what
Antonio.
position are you putting Luka? And then that's when I have the conversation. I can't put him over Ginobili right now, but
Well,
I would
Ginobili-
have the conversation
Ginobili can
over
be two
Parker.
guard.
I would have the
Ginobili-
conversation over Parker.
Yeah.
Ginobili could be 3 guard too.
Well, yeah, he's what 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, Ginobili played 2 and 3. You'd have to have Dirk and Elijah one. I would start
I'm
there.
fine with that.
Those are your 4 and your 5.
I'm fine, definitely with Dirk to be on there.
It just depends who you consider foreign player. Do you consider is Duncan a foreign player from the U.S. Virgin Islands? It starts with U.S., but it's not technically the United States.
I'm not sure
You don't have
because
a feeling. in a way.
do you consider Canadians foreign players?
Right.
Like
yes.
I mean, they're North America,
Non-American
but-
players.
Okay,
so then you got
non-Ameri-
Steve Nash.
Yeah, you do
2-time
have-
MVP's your point guard, not Luka and not Tony Parker.
True.
Or you could
mean,
call
it's
it. You
tough.
could call it non-North American starting lineup.
Is
And if you do that, how do you leave out Yao Ming?
yeah,
What about Giannis?
Giannis.
He's in the starting lineup.
Greek. I mean, I'm telling you.
Hey, I'll tell you what, this Hunter. We'll go to the game,
Yeah.
and I'll have Steve Nash,
Okay.
Ginobili,
Okay.
Giannis, Dirk,
Yeah.
and Elijah one.
Right.
Find a team without Jordan on it that would beat that team. And if you don't want to do it Nash, you can put Luka. If you don't like Elijah one, you put Yao Ming. But you got an MVP, Giannis.
Well, okay. Now hold
Ginobili.
on. Now listen. Now it'll be tough, but
Right.
technically they could all play in different positions. I could literally put a team out there of Shaq at the 5,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant at the 4, LeBron at the 3, Kobe Bryant at the 2,
Mm-hmm.
and
I mean, there's 1,000
I don't know.
point
There's
guards.
1,000
Pick one.
point guards. I mean, and
Right.
basically just keeping with what I've
Chris
got,
Paul.
you'd have the guy back to the basket and Shaq. Your shooters, you could almost have Steph Curry in there
Right.
at the point guard.
So let's back it up then. Elijah one smoked Shaq. Right?
Well,
Yeah. Then let's see.
Dirk
Dirk
would be
smoked
your power.
LeBron.
Yeah, but you have him now matched up on KD, and KD's guy can match up
Hunter.
for height.
If they played right now, in today's game, Durant would be a 3 and LeBron the 4. He weighs way
oh,
more.
well, I know he
and
weighs
he's
more
not
than
as-
him, but he's 7 foot tall.
Either way, Dirk. What I'm saying is, you got Dirk and Elijah one who smoked 2 guys on your team already.
I know,
haven't
but
talked-
just
so then you got Giannis, and then You could say, let's say Luka and Ginobili. That's a pretty good game. That's a pretty good game.
No, it'll be a fantastic game.
Yep.
Seriously,
Europeans need more
and
credit
seriously, if those two teams were to match up and play 10 times, they could go 5-5.
Yeah. You got.
You've got
if
arguably
you're
the greatest
considering
shooter
Ewing
of all
off the
time.
bench, I don't know about that, but I guess you put Steph at point guard on that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm just thinking, point guards. I mean, I could take Magic. I could put Magic on the team. You said as long as it doesn't have Jordan,
right,
you can put Magic
yeah,
on the team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jordan's just different. I just if you didn't see it, you just have to understand it's different. All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
Let's see. Back up to the Hornets real quick. Anything else on them before we talk standings here? real
Nope,
quick
they just
before we move on for the playoffs?
lost when they had a game right in their grasp to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not the way that the Hornets lose most of the time, I don't know what is. If they're not getting blown out by 20 to 30, they'll lose one right there at the end, less than 1 or 2 points. Did someone send us a message? Yeah, I wanted to take this time also to say a big thank you to all of you tuning in on the live stream, and for those of you that are listening to us via podcast. Is it anything worth mentioning?
I mean, it is relevant.
Okay, it's relevant.
To today's world, not relevant to sports at all.
Ah. Is it relevant
I don't
kind of
know.
like this?
I don't know if she's watching that. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It does have something to do with the coronavirus.
That's what I thought.
But you know how people make memes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
The memes.
this girl I went to college with, one of our neighbors, sweetest girl in the world.
Right.
Like she is just a sweetheart, and she just sent me a message that said it said ha 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 in this meme, and the meme was teenagers who drank Boone's Farm are immune to the coronavirus. So she said,
Well, yeah,
this reminds me because we had a party up there one
Right.
night. We had a Hunter. You ready for this one? We had a Boone's Farm party. You ever heard of any such madness?
No.
Okay.
Well, I saw-
She's commenting. She said,
Yeah.
"This just this brings back bad memories of me throwing all over Boone's Farm all over your carpet."
I saw a similar like meme to that
Hey,
as well.
Kelly, if you're watching.
Someone was like, anybody that's been to anybody that has used a frat boy's house or like bathroom
Is immune to it.
immune to the coronavirus. But that's something
Listen.
that can be a topic for us because
Jason,
Yeah.
you know Jason works with us.
Oh, I know Jason.
I don't know how well you know him, but Jason is not a fan of wearing shoes. Okay,
He does. I've been around him. He hasn't worn shoes. Like he'll take his shoes off and just have like his socks on
Yes.
sometimes while we're calling a ball game.
Well, when he's coaching, he used to coach the Legion B team.
Yeah,
Everyone knew him as the barefooted coach
they wouldn't wear shoes
until the
on
game
on
started.
field.
Until the game started, because he there was some type of rule where he had to be in full uniform as coach, something like that. I'm not sure exactly,
Right.
but before the game started, anywhere else, you look out on the field.
Yeah.
Jason's on the field barefooted, doing work, coaching, whatever. He's never got his shoes on.
Yeah.
In fact, Jason went to spring break in Panama City twice. The only time he put his shoes on was when we went to the club at night.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
Yeah.
He would wear flip flops to eat and stuff for lunch and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. So on the way back, I'll never forget it. On the way back, one time we stopped. Of course, you had to stop at gas stations or whatever.
Yeah.
With Jason, I'm in there waiting in line to pee, and I look behind me, and Jason walks in the gas station.
With no shoes on.
Yes,
Oh God.
we're in the middle of Alabama.
Oh God.
It wasn't a particularly clean gas station either.
And it's humid.
And he
out.
walks in there in his tie-dye shirt, no shoes on.
Whoa. Okay. Good visual.
And the reason he walked in there was to talk to the clerk about the Alabama lottery system. So Jason's in there barefooted talking to the clerk about the Alabama ticket, and he was wondering if he could basically, if he wins, can he mail it in? Do we got to stop back in Alabama? Stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And the guy, I'll never forget, the guy goes, we got to buy you a ticket, man. And Jason's sitting there with this bare face. Yeah, I'll get me one. You can't win it if you ain't in it, boys. And everybody in there just looking at this dude.
Yeah.
Like, who is it? Like, I'm sure everyone in there thought he was a local and not a
Oh yeah.
traveler.
Yeah, but this is something that's really going to start to hit sports now. The fear. It's not the virus itself.
Italian
It's
soccer's playing fanless games.
fanless
now.
games. Yeah, I know that. It's not the virus itself, people. We know it is. It's the fear of the spreading. University of Missouri Kansas City will not play its road game at Seattle this weekend due to concerns over the coronavirus. The Western Athletic Conference has announced that today. Chicago State. I mean, I didn't even realize that was a university, but Chicago State. Whoa. Chicago State. Chicago is a city. What?
Mm-hmm.
Chicago State. I never understand why they'll put state at the end of like a city's name. There is
Let's
no
see, there's
state of Chicago.
I think there's a Portland State.
There is a Portland State.
There is an Appalachian State. What's funny about Appalachian is people north of the Mason-Dixon line, what do
Yeah.
they call it?
Appalachia.
Appalachians.
Yeah, Appalachian. Appalachian. See, I can't even say
We
it.
will
Appalachian.
argue. I've had arguments with them about how to pronounce it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm from the university.
Right.
The university. The
Yeah.
educational department. We
Right.
guess what? We know how to pronounce our school's name
Yeah.
and the mountains that we live in.
Yeah.
The Appalachians.
Yeah, well,
that's just so
yeah.
weird to me. And so their shirts in Boone, you ever seen one?
Appalachia.
They have pronunciation shirts
Oh yeah.
that says the latch
Appala-
on it. So you can actually buy an
Yeah.
Appalachian State Mountaineer shirt with the
Yeah.
pronunciation on it.
And Chicago State determined Tuesday night it wouldn't play its scheduled road games at Seattle and at Utah Valley this week, while its women's team would not host its scheduled games against the same opponents. We're going to be seeing this more and more. The NBA is already taking steps and precautions, to try and prevent, the spread, obviously. And it's kind of funny, though, because, I mean, the virus is not what I'm saying is funny. It's the implementation that they're doing. They're like, there will be no more handshake lines at the end of games in
Right.
college basketball for the tournaments and in the NBA, and yet we're going to let you go bump and grind and put your sweaty bodies all over each other,
Yeah.
during the game. So, yeah, you're really reducing the amount of bodily fluids that are going to be touching each other to be able to transmit this
Hunter,
virus.
If you're a pro sports league or college and you can afford
Mm-hmm.
to actually not have fans attend,
Why would you not do it?
doesn't that mean that you're entirely overcharging for tickets?
Oh, you're talking about why soccer stadiums can just have these games without fans in them completely?
Right. If your league and the NFL could do it now and the college because of the TV that's what I'm getting. We're
Yeah.
about to see how full of crap these schools actually are over these TV contracts. Because all of a sudden, we don't need fans. Well, how are we working, Hunter, if we're not selling hot dogs?
Right.
How is the school? How is this? How does it all work? So, at some point, there's going to be a line where someone's going to have to just kind of cross on that. And,
Yeah.
And figure and they'll figure out, oh God, we're making so much from TV that
Right.
before we even sell a ticket, we can still run our business and everybody still get paid.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to get into that, but but that was just it is affecting sports.
It
right
is.
now.
It is affecting sports. Not only is it affecting everyday's lives for some people. I know that they're saying that there have been more cases so far in New York, and of course we're not health professionals. And I saw a video today. I retweeted it. Don't know if you saw me retweet it, but they asked the manager. That's what they're called, the head coaches. The manager of the Liverpool team, the soccer team, what the precautions they were taking for the coronavirus. And he looked at him and said, really? Is this like, are these questions that, basically I'm summarizing. He basically said, these are not questions that you need to ask me or famous people because we don't have the answers and we don't have the knowledge of it. Save those questions for people that have the knowledge of it, like the doctors. Or he said, what am I supposed to do? He said, I come out here in a baseball cap and a bad shave, and you're gonna ask me about it. And I thought that was the perfect response to it. But it is in fact affecting the sports world. So we have to discuss it. It's just one of those things where it's like we don't have the answers, but these are these are the precautions that these leagues are taking, and I'm surprised that it's just the schools right now taking effect and saying, well, we're not going to play these games in certain areas. I'm surprised that the NCAA hasn't maybe said, we're going to have a limit on who's coming to games right now. And if you do come to a game, do you have to wear a mask? Just because the thing is that, they don't believe it's airborne, but they're not 100% sure if it is. But at the same time, they don't know as well how long it takes for symptoms to show. So it's just it's a fine line right now. Of course, there are not a lot of cases in the United States, but yeah, it's starting to affect the sports world, and it's something that people should probably keep an eye on.
All right, Hunter, I'm going to show you the viral videos of the day. You know about snacks?
I know about snacks.
You know about snacks?
I know about snacks.
So,
This man. Well, he was the
Jackson State manager.
Manager, that's right.
I'm going to give you guys a
Oh,
view of our
snacks.
video here in just a second. I'm trying to get it set up for you. The Jackson State manager, Thomas, I think, make sure I get his name right. Thomas Lee is his name. His nickname is Snacks.
Yeah. Snacks.
Andre said that's bullying. I said, obviously, he don't care.
Yeah, obviously he really
he said
doesn't
the bully
care.
usually don't have much to say to the bullies.
The bully.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna bring up Snack. I got 2 videos to show
Why,
you.
does
from
Andre
Snack.
know something about being called Snacks?
No.
No.
We got 2 videos to show you. Here's the first one from Snacks. So Snacks is going to attempt a dunk here, Hunter. Have you seen this one?
I've seen
You've
this
seen
one.
both of them?
Yeah.
Both videos? Okay.
I've seen both. Yeah,
I just want to make sure. So
Oh, yeah.
Snacks is going to take it to the rack here, folks. You just watch it online. I'm sorry for you folks listening to the podcast, but can't do nothing about it. But here
If
you
you don't know who it is, just look up Snacks. Oh, he hit pretty hard, man.
got the dunk.
Hey,
Let's
but at least
replay it one more time.
he's having a good time. Look at it. So he's like, hell yeah, let's go.
Hashtag rise up.
That's right.
Rise up, Hunter. Rise up, buddy.
Rise up.
Yep. He got help from 3 folks. I don't know who the folks are helping him, but what a great job. So Snacks gets into the game like the other night, and I want to show you folks the Snacks getting into the ball game.
Snacks is in this game.
Not only is he in the game, he's about to make it rain. They're up by 26, so he gets in the ball game. So here's the fast break to Snacks. Kicks it out for 3 from Mexico. We'll go back. Watch how far away this 3 was, folks. This is the manager. This ain't a player. He ain't on the team. We just saw him get dunk with 3 people helping him. Now watch him pull from. I mean, this is LeBron range and KD.
I mean, that's
KD
deep. That's pretty
this is
deep.
This is Steph Curry range.
That's
right
pretty
here.
deep, man.
And Snacks. Don't
He
even
said-
leave his feet.
No,
Bam!
dude. You want to know what the best part of that video was? In all seriousness,
Yeah.
the fact that he followed through and just left it there.
Did he?
Yeah,
Let's
when he
go
let
look at
go,
it.
when he
Oh,
let
watch it.
go, he just held it there for a second, watched it. Like he didn't even try and go in for a rebound or anything. He just
wasn't following a shot.
Nah, he just said, "Watch." Boom! He had his hand still up. He was like,
He
"That's
left
me."
it in the air the whole
Yeah,
time.
Oh yeah, he knows. Hey man, that's great. That's great.
So Hunter,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin Terry's day with this one.
Is he a better shooter than Draymond?
No.
Oh,
No. Yeah, probably.
probably. I thought that's where you were going.
That's
to ruin
pretty funny.
Terry's
Yeah, that's
day.
exactly. What I'm going with it is that it's sad that Snacks can't capitalize
Off of being able to go in and play. for
because
that.
you know why? Because he entered the game.
Yeah, because
Now he's technically a student athlete. He was the manager.
Mm-hmm.
He has 7 million views on that video that you just watched him hitting the 3 right now.
Yeah.
7 million. He can't monetize it now or in a certain way because he's now officially, I guess, has played in the game. So now he would be violating NCAA rules if he made any money off of it. And people are asking all over the internet, Hunter, how do I buy a Jackson State Snacks jersey? You've got 7 million views. Just think about, let's say if 500 people buy a jersey. How much is a Jackson State jersey?
I don't know, man.
I wonder if they even have it.
I don't know. I don't know if they even have it, but here's the thing. You want to know what was crazy last night? So at the Hornets game, they had, you know how we went last year? They had those clearance racks they started to
Yeah.
pull out, so they're just trying to get rid of old inventory. I still walked over there, and they were like 40% off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had like a Kimball Walker jersey. Obviously, he was just still only a year gone. They had Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and all those guys that they're trying to move off. 40% off. They were still charging $100 for those jerseys. As if I'm gonna pay $100 for a used jersey. The guy don't even play here no more. They had Malik Monk ones out there too. No, seriously. Yeah, they had Malik Monk ones out there. So I don't know what it is that he got in trouble for, but they's trying to get his jersey out of there for clearance.
Let's see if I can find some. I'm trying to pull up the jerseys online. They don't even have basketball jerseys at Jackson State that you can buy, but the football jerseys are $65. So let's say,
just cut it in half, or not in half, but drop it by $10. Say
Think
50.
so? Let's say
like
50
$50. $50
$50
because it's not as much material.
times 500 people is 25,000. If 500 people of those 7 millions bought a Snacks jersey, he could have $25,000. But the NCAA and their rules, Hunter, are no fun, and they want the money from the TV rights. It was like last night at the high school basketball game. The gym was full, right?
They want that money from the TV rights, and I guarantee that show wasn't off television.
It was on something. Well, it was
I think that was Facebook Live. Look, they're up there in the corner. Facebook Live.
JSU TV. So they have their own streaming service at the college.
So that's
what
not
they're doing.
that's not through the NCAA.
So what I was getting at is like the Athletic Association, and they want these broadcast rights fees. But if the game's sold, that game's not sold out.
No,
you can see all the seats there.
I know.
But the game I was at last night was sold out, and they still made announcements that folks can't stream
for high school.
Yeah, folks can't stream live video, and you can't if you take pictures and you're not a member of the media. Do you know you're not? It's against the rules to sell your pictures. So if you sat in the stands and took a picture and that wasn't there with a media pass,
right,
and sold it to someone, that's against the rules.
I guess I could try and sell my Tim Duncan picture if someone wants it for a thumbnail.
I know, right?
So I mean, I was there as a member of the media. I like to think that was a pretty good photo.
It's a great picture.
Like,
I cropped it for you back there. I'm gonna put it out on the internet in a little while.
Nice.
What I'm saying is, Hunter, is if the stands are full and the tickets are sold out, shouldn't I be allowed to turn the video stream on?
Yeah.
If it's already sold out,
what else do the people what else does the NCAA want?
That's what
you're already getting your money.
That's what me and Jason was talking about last night before the game. It was like, this place is packed out. It's not like anybody else is not coming to the game. Should we be allowed to just go ahead and run this live right now? We didn't, because we didn't. God forbid, we have to hear it from the Athletic Association about that. But
God forbid.
But I was just, it's sad that he can't really capitalize on it. The way he probably could capitalize. He could be able to buy all kinds of snacks.
Yeah, be able to buy all kinds of snacks and maybe pay off some student loans if he's got some.
We're going to talk about this Saturday a little bit. Shelby High School native.
Okay.
Just graduated a few years back. Elliot Grayson has officially went pro.
Okay. There you go.
So congratulations to Elliot. He will be competing. He went to University of Akron, so we'll get Tom's thoughts on that.
No zips.
And he'll be making his PGA Tour debut in Mexico this week at the 2020 Estrella de Mar Open in Mazatlan, Mexico. So he competed in the U.S. Amateur Championship at Pinehurst, and then turned pro after the event. So congratulations to Elliot Grayson. That would be my dream job, would be to get paid to play golf, as opposed to pay to tell y'all my hot takes here. I'd rather be playing golf.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Let me put a picture of it. There's Elliot.
That'd be really fun.
We'll
But
we'll talk more about it Saturday.
If I have to choose one or the other right now, though, I'm giving my hot takes. The hottest of takes.
Do you play golf, Hunter? No.
I played golf more the year after I graduated high school because me and my buddies, obviously we've all got, different stuff that we do now, but while we were still in like freshmen, sophomores in college, we would go and play a little bit. We would go play at Lakewood in Statesville because it's $15 for 9 holes and you get a golf cart. Like you ain't got to pay extra for a golf cart. And I was like, dude, let's just go drink some beer.
That's $1 a hole plus $6 for the cart.
I was like, well, yeah, but like, I mean, think about it. Like, compared to other places,
right? And Cherville,
that was the cheapest.
Cherville's got a 9-hole golf course, and it is about $25 to $30 to play there.
Yeah, see.
And that's the same as the 18-hole courses around here.
Now I went and played a 9-hole, a 9. No, it wasn't even a 9.
Hunter's got some explaining to do.
Yeah, it wasn't even a 9-hole course. It was a short course in Utah. I played at one of the ones when I was
It's called
out
an
in Utah
executive
this year.
course, is what they're called, actually.
I don't know though, because it wasn't necessarily. I think they were all just par 3s, maybe, or par 4s.
There was a couple par 4. All right, so they have these things called executive courses where it's
Yeah.
not the par 72 or 70. You have to have, like, I think 68 is the lowest you can go.
Yeah.
So if you go any lower than that,
Right.
it's called an executive course, as opposed, because it's not a par 3 and it's got a couple par 4s. So that's the actual label on it. There's one in Myrtle Beach, and it costs $44 to play that one.
Dude,
and I
this
could
one-
pay 60 to play a real
I
course
was about
down
to
there.
say, in Utah, you know how much I paid for it?
Not much at all, probably.
I was like $10. I paid $10. We played twice because sometimes you're like, well, I was there
Right.
obviously on vacation, but I played twice and I almost went back and played the third time. It was just cheap, and unfortunately we didn't have much to do in Provo, so it wasn't. We went to a soccer game because basketball season was out.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go and see a Jazz game. And I couldn't go and see a BYU or a Utah game for football because it wasn't football season. So
why
we
didn't you
had
just go to
stuff
a
do.
BYU soccer match, Hunter?
I don't think they had one that week.
Oh, okay.
I
Didn't think about that, did you?
went and saw the MLS team play.
Okay.
I went to the major league game. So
Was
they
it-
had reasonable seats, and it was nice. I think I took a picture from the stands. The stadium obviously is nice. Most professional stadiums are really nice, but what made it look the best.
I did see a thing
Well,
yesterday, Hunter,
no,
said
it was-
XFL teams are looking at moving out of the NFL stadiums into some MLS stadiums that are smaller
I don't blame
to make
them
it
at
to
all.
fill it up or whatever.
DC already plays at Audi Field,
Mhm.
and that's where the DC United play. But what made the stadium so nice was the backdrop that you would see. You'd look down to see the field. You look up, the
Mountains.
Rockies were just right there. So
It's
it was
amazing
real
how
cool.
big those mountains are. isn't it?
Oh my God! When I was flying over them, my word, I felt like
I haven't been out there. Mom and my sister's been to Montana, and
Yeah.
and they run up to the part where the Rockies run up through there,
Mhm.
and just them talking about how little our mountains are here, and
They
everything
call
are.
them glorified hills here.
Right.
But those are, let's just say it was, when I go, I went in like May, there was still snow at the very top.
Yeah.
It's just how high they are in altitude.
Yep. You ski?
Do I ski? I've been skiing seriously only twice. And the first time I ever went, I was in 6th grade. It was a class field trip, and I busted my nose the first time I went down.
I did too, but it was how did you bust yours? I got a weird story for mine.
I was attempting to slow down because they tell you to know, because we didn't go and use poles. They were afraid we were going to stab each other because we were like in 6th grade. So we didn't use. None of us had poles.
Oh yeah.
So to
I know
slow
what you
down,
mean.
they were like, cross your skis.
Right.
Well, I crossed
The
my
poles don't slow you down
Yeah, no.
anyway.
Well, I know, but they're like to help you retain balance
A little.
bit. So I'm going to cross my skis, and one of them buckles,
Yeah.
and my foot comes out,
Oh.
and so I just eat it right into the pole and or into the ski and busted my nose.
You actually hit the ski when you went down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's bad luck. I had bad luck too. The guy fell down in front of me, and I skied around him,
right.
which was fine. But my pole that I had that you didn't have,
I didn't have any poles.
was dragging the ground
Yeah.
as I turned, and when it went by him, his ski was crossing, and the pole hit the ski and popped straight up in my hand. So I basically punched
punched
myself
yourself
in the face
Oh,
with a
man.
ski pole, and I
Yeah.
got down the mountain. I knew I'd hit myself, and I didn't know I was bleeding yet.
Yeah.
I was about 13 or 14. I got down to the
Right.
bottom of the hill, and Dad was there, and I'm covered in blood. He's like, they freaked. I had to go into the
Yeah,
medical thing, and they
Yeah.
looked at it, and it was just a busted lip, is all it was. But
I mean,
it hit me perfect.
Yeah, I think I had just a bloody nose. I mean, it stopped after a little while, but it was like I just don't. I'm not a skier, man. I'm just not.
Probably the worst wreck I had. It wasn't even a wreck. I was trying to hit a jump,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking like a bump. I'm talking an X Games type jump. Like this thing's 10 foot tall.
Now let me tell you something. I thought about getting a little crazy as well on the black diamond one.
Oh,
knowing
yeah.
good and well, I'm
You
not
stupid.
ready
That'd
for
be
it, man.
They got a double black at up at Sugar.
Oh
and,
yeah, up at the Appalachian Ski Resort.
It is no
Or
at
just
Sugar
at
Mountain.
Sugar
Yeah,
Mountain.
it's not that long. It's only a couple hundred yards,
Right.
but it's straight down, and
Oh,
it's nothing but moguls.
Mm.
And so like, but if the moguls weren't there, you would die. It's how fast. I mean, going down those moguls,
Yeah.
it's gravity. It's all it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's almost like the moguls are slowing you down to keep you
Right.
from just dying. And like, so I've done it twice down those, and then I was like, it's not worth like that. But the worst one was,
Yeah.
so I had some trick skis. Not saying I could do tricks. I just had the shorter ones for more control, because I felt if I have the longer ones and I go fast, I'm just going to hurt myself or
I'm
die.
just gonna eat it.
So I got the shorter ones, and I hit this jump, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was good up until the very edge of the hill, because where so many people
Right.
rode up it was actually straight up at the top instead
Yeah.
of rounded where you jump.
Yeah.
And because I thought I was going to jump and go like 20 feet.
Right.
Instead, when I hit the jump,
You went
my
down?
feet went straight out from under me.
Oh.
And I landed like a snow angel flat on my back on the other side of the jump. Like it just went like I just went. I'm trying to find. Hold on.
Oh man.
We'll pull out Jim Edmonds here for you folks watching. So Jim here, this is me hitting the jump. Whoop, and I went up in the air like this and just fell straight down like that. Arms out, wide open, everything. And when I hit,
I wouldn't be able to breathe.
all the air went out of me, and I went,
Yeah.
"Ugh,"
Yeah.
and I couldn't breathe. I was just like sucking air.
Yeah.
And what got me back into it was I heard someone on the ski lift going over us laughing at me. That's what shocked me back to breathing. I heard people laughing, and I looked up, and I was like, I thought to myself, I can't lay here this long. There's more people coming.
If someone else pulls a me, I'm gonna be dead.
That too, if anyone else come over there, because I was at the bottom of the hill. I was like, I'm trying to slash crawl, but my skis are still on. It's
Yeah.
slippery, and I just kind of slid off the edge into the woods. I mean, it was like I'm sitting there laying there like,
Oh man.
I hope a bear don't come around the corner and just eat me here. So that for the first minute or two, I couldn't really move. I was just like, ugh.
Why?
But while hearing the people
Why,
laugh at
God,
me,
why?
oh God, I gotta move now.
Why, God? Why? It hurts so bad.
I don't know.
Man.
I've
That's funny.
I've had some great runs and great fun of skiing. I'll never forget that. And Hunter, the jump was 10 feet, and I landed at the bottom of the jump. I can only tell you how high I fell.
Luckily, it was snow.
15, 20 feet. I don't know.
Luckily,
I
it was a little bit of a powdery substance.
was
below you.
staring at the stars as I floated through the sky at Sugar Mountain before crash landing. I bet if it was on video,
Yeah.
it would definitely be viral.
Oh,
I mean, there's no chance that would not have been like everybody. Golly.
Yeah.
In fact, if we had had our, I don't know if we didn't really have video phones too much back then. Well, some of us
Yeah.
had some. That some
Yeah.
people did, but in fact, I probably would have told someone to video it before I hit it, and then we would have had
Hold my beer. Watch
proof
this.
of that. Oh, it was
Man,
bad. I can
man.
feel my back now, just stiff.
Oh man, just the thought.
I hit the ground totally flat. Like it was a full out. Like if you were doing a
Yeah.
belly flop in a pool and your body
Yeah.
hit all the way across the water. That's how I hit the ground.
Yeah.
It wasn't no tuck and roll. It was cartoon Goofy hitting the snow. So yeah,
man.
but then I was actually a decent skier. That's what's bad about it. All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
All right, so there's that. Let me get over here. There you went over your NBA standings. Hornets and the Wizards are close but not close.
Yeah, close, but not close.
And we'll just look forward to our
Draft pick eventually.
yeah. I mean, you might as well. I saw someone tweeting today, like, how long will it be before the Panthers compete again? And I'm like, you ask the same question. If they're Hornets fans, they can deal with it.
Well, they essentially came out and said that everybody on the roster is up for trade.
Yeah, let's talk about that. They're actually now we don't know if the Panthers are discussing, but the way they worded it and what Hunter just said, there are people in Charlotte discussing whether or not Christian McCaffrey is now on the trading block.
And you want to know why he's seriously on the trading block? I made the money. I made Wesley, my cousin's husband, is a huge Panthers fan, and he said, "Look, it would not hurt my feelings if we trade Christian McCaffrey." He said, "I know how great he is, but do you want to pay him Ezekiel Elliott money?" You already see how the Rams feel after paying Todd Gurley that money, and then all of a sudden his knees got shot. He wasn't the same the next year.
They got to find
And
a happy median for the running backs around $10 million.
They haven't
instead
done,
of 15.
There's
to 20
no
on the
guarantee
big
that they're going to keep Kyle Allen. There's no guarantee they're going to ride with Cam Newton. And the point being made is, I think it's because they are all in on tanking next year. I think they're all in on taking, or else they wouldn't say everybody is available, basically, like how they worded it.
I mean, you don't.
And
trade,
then they want
you don't trade your 5-time straight Pro Bowl 26-year-old.
26
He's
guard.
he's basically the only good player,
Yeah, offensive lineman.
only good offensive lineman,
And you're moving.
And that's the one you're talking
looking to
about
move him.
trading.
You're looking to move him.
They don't want to pay. Basically, what they're saying, Hunter, if you're tanking, they don't want to pay
Big
a
money.
player $20 million a year,
To lose.
and they're losing anyway.
Right.
They
To
might
lose.
as well have a lower end, trade all their money
And
away.
This is the perfect time for them to see what they have in Will Greer that they took in the 3rd round. If they don't go with Kyle Allen or Cam Newton, they already knew that they were going to have a bad season anyways. Will Greer, this can either A, show that he can actually kind of play, or B, shows, okay, this is the reason why he didn't win the starting job over Kyle Allen. We're already in the running for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. So there they go. And it wouldn't surprise me either. You know, like I said, I obviously had an extensive conversation with a Panthers fan last night, so a lot of this is just, I'm going off of what a pure Panther fan is telling me I know it doesn't speak for all of them. Does
Yeah.
not speak for all Panthers fans. But this is what he said. He basically said, I want them to tank. He said, I want them to tank because I'm ready to start over.
Right.
I'm ready for us to actually have a direction and have something that we're building and working to. And I understand that completely. How many of these teams really like to say, or really enjoy saying they like going 8-8 every year, or 6-7? They're teetering on decent, but they're also not bad enough to get a number 1, 2, or 3 pick without maybe moving some pieces around and doing some trades. You know, there's a certain amount of time after a while. Like you can only go so many years. That's one of the main reasons they finally moved off Jason Garrett in Dallas. There are so many years you can only go 8-8, 9-7 until the point where you're like, well, we are not going anywhere fast. Like we're just stagnant. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and thinking you're going to get different results. Well, we
Right.
haven't got different results every year, 8-8, 9-7. So let's just blow it up and try it and start all over, rebuild. And if that's what Carolina truly wants to do, they're in the perfect opportunity to do it. They're in the perfect opportunity to do it because this you can sell the fans this year that even though we're tanking, we're getting Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson next year. And they won't care because of the
Right.
amount of Clemson fans that are also Panthers fans just due to regional.
Yep.
Just,
Well,
them
Panthers,
being
of course,
regional.
played their first season there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely. So if they do that, I mean, I have no problem with it. Would they much rather have Christian McCaffrey on the team for Trevor Lawrence? Oh, I believe they would do that 9 times out of 10. The problem is going to be what does Christian want contract-wise? Because
Right.
he is coming off a 1,000 season. One of 3 players to do it.
Oh, his
we
agent's
know,
gonna throw
and we
that
know
out.
he is very talented. He's the most talented offensive weapon they've had since Steve Smith.
So, as far as the Panthers go, and Cam, I sent you the tweet last night
Right.
that your Skins are interested.
Are or aren't?
They are. Did you not get that tweet?
No, yeah, I did see it. I thought I
The
read
Redskins
it
would
wrong.
reportedly have interest in the Panthers quarterback if he's placed on the trade block.
No.
Matthew Berry says a close note says former Panthers and Ron Rivera basically loves Cam Newton, and Berry added that he gives the sense.
What the hell
gets the
does
sense that-
Matthew Berry know? Matthew Berry covers fantasy football. He is a fantasy football guy. Now, I'm not going to discredit him as a reporter, but I'm just saying everything you see Matthew Berry talk about, whether he's on television for the past few years, has been fantasy football. Fantasy football.
Berry also
fantasy
said he
football today.
expects Haskins to be the quarterback unless Cam Newton becomes available, and then with Rivera, then all bets are
And
off.
I
and
like
it's a
Matthew,
possibility.
and I like Matthew Berry too, because Matthew Berry is a Washington Redskins fan, because that's who he rooted for growing up. But even he needs to see that, like that. Even though I know he's supposed to report, obviously, what rumors are and what's being talked about and possibilities. I don't know if he said it in the column. Of course, I just saw what you sent me.
Right.
If he's like me, then he is at the same time saying, no, there's no way. There should be no trade made for Cam Newton from Washington. There should not be. The only reason that it could even be remotely good is if he comes in there, if they do it to light a bigger fire underneath Haskins' ass than they already have by putting out all the stories about them talking with Tua about the number 2 pick. Because that's all I ever see out of Dwayne Haskins now is him talking about getting in the work, putting in the work, getting in there, which is great. You know, you're supposed to do that. Whatever your driving factor is, great. Whatever you need for a little bit of extra motivation, yeah, okay, whatever. But I do not want Cam Newton on this team. I don't. Because if he has success, we're screwed. Because they'll re-sign him. They'll re-sign him, and it'll be the same exact thing that, you know, I've heard Cam fans that are Panthers fans say it'll be just like when he won his MVP. Everybody will think he'll be back to that, and he will never be. And if Cam Newton comes back and has a great season with Washington, and they give him a 3 to 4 year extension, and he comes out the next year, and we don't have a great defense, and because we got weapons, I'll admit it, we have weapons. But if he comes out there and drops off again, I'll be like, well, we're just in the same situation we were in with Alex Smith and Case Keenum. We're blowing money away. Why not just continue to ride with the young guy while you got the young rookie contract?
Yeah.
We have $60 million in cap.
I think your biggest issue is, all right, let's say,
like I said, we have $60 million in cap. We can make moves to get better than just worrying about the quarterback.
Let's say you were going to move on from Haskins and you did draft it, or you did get another quarterback. There's no guarantee that quarterback's going to lead you to a Super Bowl. There's no guarantee in quarterbacks. And my thing is, with these first 4 round picks, you have to pick guaranteed starters. Then I think if you want to, I would then start drafting quarterbacks 5th, 6th round stuff. Like draft 1 a year, because the 5th to 7th rounders hardly even make the roster a lot of times.
Right.
So why not? That's when you pick your quarterbacks. Look at the picture of Tom Brady, folks, coming out of the damn combine. It's insane. I mean, he was not in shape. He was not looking like a pro quarterback. He wasn't ready coming out. And so I just don't. I think you don't want to waste starters, because all right, if you pick a guy this year and after you did last year, there's 2 quarterbacks. Well, if that guy don't work out, well, instead of that, Hunter, you could have had a Chase Young, Bosa type situation on your ends or something like that instead of having 2 quarterbacks.
I'm telling you, if we were to just follow the blueprint that has been laid out by the San Francisco 49ers than they did last year, what do they have that's amazing? They have the head coach right. Well, we like to think we have the head coach right. He's just not the offensive genius that is Kyle Shanahan. We don't know about the quarterback. Well, nobody knew if Jimmy Garoppolo was going to take the step up this year after missing the whole season before with an ACL tear. So he was coming off of ACL injury and recovering off of that. So we're in the same way with Haskins. We need to just figure out if he's going to take the next step and jump in and be an actually decent enough pro. With that comes time. So that's the offseason. So there's our equivalent for their Jimmy Garoppolo problem. Okay? All right. So what did they do? They drafted Nick Bosa, who ended up being the best defensive end out of all rookies, the best defensive player out of all rookies.
Right.
And they matched him up with an already strong defense. That defense had Quan Alexander, who is a fantastic linebacker, can get you left or right on the field, can cover tight ends. They had Richard Sherman out there on the corners. They had big bodies up front on the D tackle on the defensive end. The other one was DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner is a force of nature. He can get back there in the backfield as well. And what did we say the whole year was the driving force of the 49ers? That defense. Oh, man, that defense is so fast. Oh, man, that defense is so disruptive. We have the opportunity to build the same exact damn thing in Washington.
Yeah.
All you got to do is take Chase Young. Montez Sweat, you can sit him on the other side. He is 6'8". People forget at the combine, he ran like a 4.45 or 4.44. At 6'8" and a defensive end, he ran that fast. I don't know what Chase Young runs, but there's a reason why he had 16.5 sacks and didn't even play 2 games last year.
Why pick a guy in the first round if you're not going to give him 3 years to show what he can do? You have to give him 3 years, and here's why. I just looked up. You saw me doing some math over here.
Yeah.
So in the last podcast, we broke down how only 7 first overall quarterbacks have actually won the Super Bowl.
Right.
7 quarterbacks have won, was it 12 Super Bowls between them? I think it might have been even more than that. I'm looking. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Two
5,
of them,
6,
two of them
7,
were the
10,
Mannings, and two of them were the
12,
Mannings, and
16.
they have 4
16.
combined.
So the 7 quarterbacks picked number 1 overall who've won a championship actually have 16 total championships. Now, let's break that down even further. So here, this is good news for Haskins, Hunter, is what I'm telling you.
You're talking about defenses now.
No,
Oh.
Haskins. No, this is offense. This is quarterbacks.
I
We're still
gotcha.
talking the 7 quarterbacks:
Yeah.
Namath, Plunkett, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Terry Bradshaw, and the Manning brothers are the only quarterbacks picked 1 overall to win a Super Bowl, and combined, those 7 won 16 Super Bowls.
Right.
Now, you want to know how they started? That's what I was going to get into.
Oh, you're talking about the first 2 or 3 years?
No, first year for everybody.
First year, okay.
So this year, our Panther fans hating on Kyle Allen.
Yep.
Dude is 6-7 overall. Okay. Cam Newton, his first year, went 6-10 overall.
Mhm.
Here are the first year totals for all 7 of those quarterbacks. Joe Namath, 3-5-1 in his first year. Jim Plunkett, 6-8. Peyton Manning, folks, some of y'all think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. He was 3-13 his first year.
Led the league in interceptions, too.
Eli Manning, in his first year, 2-time Super Bowl champion and 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He's got more MVPs than Peyton Manning does in the Super Bowl. He's 1-6 his first year.
Mm-hmm.
We all know about Troy Aikman's first year, 0-11. Troy Aikman's first year, 0-11. He won 3 Super Bowls. All of these people are in the Hall of Fame also, by the way.
Right.
John Elway, his first year, who went to 5 Super Bowls, was 4-6. And Terry Bradshaw, I'm 6 for 6 right now on losing records, ain't I?
Right.
Terry Bradshaw makes it 7 for 7, Hunter.
Yeah.
3-5 his rookie year. So what I'm telling you is, in these teams, when you draft a quarterback in the first round, it is ridiculous to call them a bust after the first year.
I mean, Dwayne won a football game this year, and it was against Carolina.
Combined,
he was the one that got Ron Rivera fired.
Yeah, then he should keep him then, shouldn't
Yeah,
he?
he got Rivera fired.
Dwayne Haskins got Ron Rivera his new job.
True.
Got to word it that way.
Yeah, he got him his new job.
He got him hired.
Right.
Now, Hunter, combined, those 7 quarterbacks, first overall quarterbacks, 7 of them won 16 titles. But combined in their first season were 20, 54, and 1. Don't get rid of Haskins yet. Because guess what? All right, put it this way. Do you expect to win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years?
No.
Then why not give him
2 years.
those 2 years to prove whether he's the quarterback? Because then you build your defense. And then in year 4, hey, we might have a good
Because even
defense.
then, I'll say this. Even if we do draft Tua, we're not winning the Super Bowl in 2 years.
Yeah.
We'd be in the same exact spot we're in right now, just we don't have the bona fide guy at the quarterback
Best
position.
case scenario, y'all compete for the Super Bowl in 3 to 6 years, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Not
Right.
it almost never happens overnight like that. Now some teams go from first to last in some reasons, but new coach, new quarterback, I don't see it that way. I could see a team like I'd have to pull up the NFL standings to go first. The NFL South does it all the dang time.
Yeah, I mean, you could go with Atlanta. Atlanta could be in the conversation
but
next
they didn't
year.
come in last. The Panthers did.
I know
Atlanta
that.
came in second.
But they
Atlanta
still,
and Tampa both 7-9.
Yeah.
Both of those teams could make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about the Cardinals at 5-10?
That's the toughest division.
Toughest
in
division
football.
in football.
So
I
it's
100%
questionable.
agree. And then last year, of course, the 49ers
Browns, the Browns
were
almost
3 and
made
something.
it. Pittsburgh almost made it. The Browns should be better than 6-10.
I
Would they
think so.
not? So
Put them down at 8-8.
I thought they would.
I
be
would
at
guess
least,
them 8-8 every year
I
until
said,
something happens.
hey man, I'm telling you, I said last year high side could have been 9-7.
Right, and that would put you in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, it wouldn't have because they lost the tiebreaker to Tennessee. Well, if they'd beat Tennessee in the first game, they'd have got the tiebreaker
Tennessee
on that too.
freaking dog walked them too. Jesus.
And everybody made fun of the Browns for that. And then 19 weeks later, they beat Tom Brady, the MVP,
Yeah.
and then lose
To Patrick
to
Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. So yeah,
The future Super Bowl MVP.
yeah,
and
and
champion.
So yeah, the Titans this year beat the GOAT, beat the MVP, and lost to the Super Bowl MVP and champion. So there you go.
But the Titans beat Patrick Mahomes during the regular season.
Yeah.
by 3 or 4.
Tannehill's still in the league. He was picked in the first round. He's been given plenty of chances.
Ryan Tannehill, coming out of college, was a wide receiver, and he changed the quarterback. He was a wide receiver
How often does that ever
Texas
happen?
A&M.
How often does that ever
Usually it's the other way around. Julian
Right.
Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State, came out, now he's
Right.
arguably one of the best slot receivers ever play football.
Oh, I just think you guys would be making a big mistake drafting one. Now, how about I tell you this? Trading for Cam might not be too. Or trading for a quarterback or signing. You said you got $60 million. The best case scenario is just sign one if you can. But trading for and if you had to give up a 4th rounder, but Cam you're probably going to have to give up more. So best case scenario is let Haskins play out. And if the worst thing, you could sign a veteran, Ryan Fitzpatrick or someone else.
Wes was like, let me just throw this idea at you. I was like, all right. He's like, so put Trent Williams up there as a trade piece, and the number 2 pick. We'll give you Christian McCaffrey, our 7th pick, and our 2nd round pick this year. Would you do it? I said, no, I wouldn't do it. I don't need Christian McCaffrey. We've got 5 running backs, and we don't even know which one's going to carry the damn ball.
Nah.
I love Christian McCaffrey. I love to watch him, but no.
For 20. Listen, they can talk about the 100 catches all they want. I'm not going to be impressed by. It's not. There's a difference between getting 100 catches, Hunter, within like the designed offense. Like if he's out there, lining up a wide receiver and run out, but he got 100 catches on swing passes and run outs from a running back position, which was on most teams is the last priority.
Right.
So if you're telling me, getting a dump off because nobody was open or your quarterback didn't want to throw it, then yes, he caught the pass. I'm not taking anything away from him and he got the yards. What I'm saying is that I'm not that impressed because most teams don't try to force the ball to their running back on passes like the Panthers did last year. So I'm not even sure, without even Norv, because Norv's a running back centric. So if they're going to change up with that, if McCaffrey would even be a part of it, are they going to go like 4 wide receivers most of the time? Like, what is this Baylor coach going to do?
I don't know.
I mean, they're not a they're 31st in the league, and he's not a defensive coach. And they're 31st in defense. So where are they going to go that's going to make them better, especially on defensive side? And they're getting rid of all their good offensive players. They're talking about getting rid of the quarterback, the best lineman, and the running back, and the defense was 31st. So you're all on the. This is the most tanky palooza about ever seen.
They're tanking. Yeah, it's over.
They're tanking.
Accept it. Just Panthers fans, accept it. I think they've understood that arguably they could be the worst team in football next year. Arguably.
Well, I'm gonna look real quick, see if we got any nominees.
Because I think Cincinnati will be better. I'm not saying they'll be great. They'll be better. Arizona will be better. The Giants in the second year with Daniel Jones will be better.
I'm going to throw some nominees for you, Hunter. We'll see what happens. If the Chargers don't get a big-time quarterback,
they said they could run with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
and he's not going to win you games, but he's not necessarily going to lose you games
they'll go
either.
4-12.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jacksonville.
they're going to run with Garner.
They've been getting rid of all their defensive players, and now all they have left is the Minshew mustache, and so I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work out for him. Cincinnati, I would put in the book as a possible worst team, number 1 pick team next year. Giants and Redskins, depending on what y'all do in the offseason. There's 5.
Right.
I would say Panthers are definitely in that group. I would say there's 6. If you want to throw in, did I say Detroit?
No.
Detroit, maybe Chicago, so 6, 7. So yeah, they're going to be in the running.
They'll be in the running, and especially if they come out and announce Will Greer as a starter from week 1, there's a possibility that they win 2 games, 1 to 2 games. I'm just saying, there was a reason why he didn't beat out Kyle Allen.
That's true too. That's 100% true. I mean,
And
Allen,
if
the first 5 weeks was undefeated, so they didn't take him out then. They gave him the chance, and then you're right at the end. Maybe you would look at your 3rd round quarterback. But they were kind of in the playoff race till about 2 or 3 weeks left.
And if they do play Will Greer, go ahead and start buying customized Trevor Lawrence jerseys.
Customized Lawrence jerseys.
I'm just saying.
That's funny.
Now, Justin Fields is not going to let Trevor Lawrence get off easy thinking he's just going to be the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is going to battle hard at Ohio State. But as of right now, tank for Trevor. It was tank for Tua, now it's tank for Trevor.
All right, Hunter. Let's see. Looking forward to Friday. You got anything else today we need to go over?
Nah, I was looking at the time. I got to, if he's listening, happy birthday, Dad, of my father's
get home.
birthday. Yeah, I
It'll
got
be
my
5 o'clock by the time you get home.
Yeah, I got my father's birthday dinner to go to tonight.
So, well, happy birthday to him. Let's go. Let's talk about a couple of things that we're going to have to talk about on Friday.
Right.
XFL.
Yes.
We're gonna have a
Preview.
special guest. A couple of my friends coming in Friday. Chris Nelson, Andy Sane. They want to talk a couple of different things. Those two really good at NBA and ACC basketball. So we're going to definitely talk both of those on Friday. We're going to talk XFL for sure. We're going to talk Panthers and get their takes on some of this stuff. Not going to throw any NASCAR at them. Wednesday's usually my NASCAR day here on the podcast, so I do want to. Let's end the show real quick on some of that, Hunter.
Okay.
This past weekend at Auto Club Speedway in California, Jimmy Johnson's hometown race, that they did a lot of tributes to him. They let him lead. He actually qualified on front row. They let him lead a lap on the pace lap, and they lined up 5 wide behind him. I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty good to as a tribute to Jimmy. So, as far as the race goes, I would say that was one of the best races I've ever seen as competitive. Jimmy didn't win. I wanted him to win.
Okay.
He dropped back a little bit. Put it this way. All day long, no matter how they kind of rotated with the pits and the wrecks, whatever,
Yeah.
Jimmy ended up 3rd or 4th on the speed. Like, he was in the top 5 all day.
Got it.
And then when that pack would break away, there was 2 cars that were always better than him, and it was Blaney and Bowman. He could not get around them. He could pass everybody else on the track, but those 2, once they got in front of him,
Yeah.
he couldn't get around. So they were obviously having the best day. So he ended up finishing. Crap! I better click on it before I say it wrong. I think 7th. Yep, 7th. He was competing there on the last few laps. Last restart, he was in there about 3rd or 4th, about 3rd or 4th, right behind the front row.
Got it.
And it just didn't work out. Bowman, his teammate, 1. Chase Elliott, his other teammates, 4, and Jimmy 7th.
Chevy's had a good day.
That is absolutely awesome. The Toyotas didn't have that great of a day until the end. They started getting up there and taking care of it. Bowman led 110 laps. Johnson led 10. Keselowski 6.
Yeah.
54 laps led by Ryan Blaney. I'm not really seeing any. I don't know if a Toyota led a single lap. So no. Martin Truex led 3. Now Truex during the race, Hunter, if you were listening on the radio and go on Twitter and everything this weekend and type the audio, Truex basically cussed everybody. At some point, he was mad almost everybody out there. He threatened to wreck 2 cars. He called it, they were cussing. He was cussing everybody, and he told one of them that something about they can kiss my ass in his spotter without missing a beat. Says 10-4 on the kiss. He was going to go relay that message. But yeah, absolutely wonderful race. I would have to say that it was one of the most competitive races I've ever seen. That wasn't the restrictor plates. Like there was legitimately maybe 5 cars, including Jimmy, down to 7 that could have won that race. Depending on what we were hoping for at the end was cautions.
Yeah.
Because on the restarts, they were going 5 wide, diving. I mean, it was on. You've seen the IndyCar start where they just take off and everybody goes different directions. That's kind of like that, like it was there. And but they put on a good show this weekend. They're going to be in Phoenix. You ought to see the Hunter the spoiler difference in the short tracks as opposed to the super speedway. It's I'm not going to guess exactly how big it is. I would say it's close to a foot. It's got to be that much bigger. So they're going to Phoenix this weekend, and they also made another announcement. And a lot of NASCAR fans are losing their minds over it. Have you seen the rule that they're going to next year? They're changing the wheel to an aluminum wheel.
Okay.
The aluminum wheel under a certain amount of stress or something, they can't use the 5 lug nuts. So they're going to a single lug nut wheel next year. Now, as far as the timing goes, people would think, well, God, that's going to just cut the pit stops in half. It's actually not, because of the way it's set up. Is that from what I'm reading, Hunter?
Yeah.
Is that it looks to me like it's only going to save 2-3 second stops.
Okay.
So if they're pitting at, I think I heard one of them say they want to be at 14 is the best, perfect. So or no, 12 is the best, 13 and 14 is good. But so if they're going to be getting around closer to 10 seconds on the pit stops, so that's the new issue, and maybe Terry will have some of that this weekend to talk about on that. But what else did I tell you that they wanted to talk about Friday?
I'm not sure.
I think there was one or two more things, but Friday for sure. Everybody, XFL, NBA, ACC, Panthers. We may have a Mount Rushmore too. I like ranking things with Chris, and then he also mentioned he wanted to talk Trout, and I can trash him for another day if he wants me to.
Yeah,
not gonna trash him. Just gonna tell the real facts, folks. The real facts. And then I guess we'll go on from there and see what else they want to go. But Andy, it's gonna be two of them. Andy and Chris are gonna join us, and Andy's one of the most automatic jump shots you've ever seen. When I say someone that didn't play in the NBA can beat NBA players on horse, this is the guy I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, I'm betting on him against, like, it's not even a question of betting on him against Gerald Wallace from MKG.
Right.
Like, it's sign your mortgage up for this.
Okay.
That's how good a shooter Andy is. All right, folks, we're going to say that's going to do it for today. And Hunter and I are going to play it away and get on out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching on Facebook, as usual. Our starting lineups of the day, I didn't get to those. I got a couple here. I'm going to have a special, doing something special with those, Hunter. I'm going to let you know about maybe Friday.
Okay.
But we're going to feature, back in the day, I collected these. I collected baseball cards too, but I didn't think they were as exciting as the actual action figures. And Zach is here on Wednesdays. Usually I wanted to kind of do that with him because he did as well. And I want to talk about those. Best story about those, Hunter, is back in the day when they would come out.
Yeah.
So you'd go to Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, wherever the toys are.
Right.
You'd go to the toy section, KB Toys that used to be open.
Yeah.
They would have a whole aisle of these. Like, it's not even, not like they got a section of an aisle. I'm talking the whole aisle was all the sports. And now there's like one rack at Walmart of the McFarland's. And so back then me and Zach went one time to the store and Mom's shopping or whatever. So we went and looked, see if they had any starting lineups. And I was like, oh, God, this is the best one ever because it's just a wall of them.
Right.
There was a guy with his buggy who obviously knew that they were worth something. See, we had just been playing with them at the time. And we had just now started figuring out that they could be worth something. And there was a guy in the aisle with a buggy full of them. I mean, he was like this, just grabbing the main ones. I'm sure he's made some money off those since then. But Zach ended up picking up his favorite player then was David Robinson. And so he got a David Robinson one. And he still has it. And that David Robinson, I don't know how much it is now, but then that day we bought it for $7. It was worth $50 off the shelf right then.
Well.
And so I don't know what it's worth now. Some of those 90 stars went down and everything, but that was $50. So I started looking. I wanted a David Robinson too. I didn't have a David Robinson. Couldn't find him. The old jerk beside me done took one, or he might have took 3 or 4. Couldn't find another Robinson. That guy pulled away. We went through them all. So guess who I picked? I'll give you 2 guesses. It doesn't matter. You're gonna be wrong no matter what you guess. So I'm just guess the one I picked. Know. I went with, because I didn't have it, I thought it was unique, Spud Webb. I got a Spud Webb starting lineup because he was like this big. David Robinson was like this tall, but Spud was like this big. But he won a dunk contest.
Life size.
Personally, everybody in 1995 knew who Spud Webb was, or 94. There was no, we don't know who Spud was, but that was my, and that was my awakening to. I was excited about getting a player, and then finding out that Robinson's worth $50 and Spud Webb's worth less than what I just paid for it in the toy store.
Man.
All right, guys, we're going to play it away now, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a happy Wednesday night, Thursday, and we'll see you Friday, folks. All right, buddy. Be careful. See you maybe tomorrow sometime. I don't know if I'll be here when you get through. What time are you going to be here tomorrow? You know?
The incredible man. I only
Gotcha.
do things incredible can.
See you. Hey, Friday. What time do you want me to come
The
in?
chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you want to be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am. All right.